Hi, I'm John Ludi, and you might think from my surroundings that I'm in a kitchen. That is because I am in a kitchen. And I'm in a kitchen for a couple different reasons. One of which is the first thing that I heard when listening back to my little van recording of One Way Train is percussion. And I don't have any percussion. So instead of doing the right and proper thing of going out to a store, a music store, and buying percussion, I decided to do the quick and dirty and most importantly inexpensive thing and go into the kitchen where there are all sorts of sundry and assorted things to bang on. And the other reason I've done this is because I'm one of those artists that will actually listen to criticism. And one of the things that I've heard over the years in reviews of my work has been this guy uses a drum machine. He programs it well, but it's a drum machine. So what I wanted to avoid was relying on programming drums. It's something that I have been told that I do reasonably well, but I kind of wanted to get away from that for this particular handful of tunes that I'm kind of working on right now. And the other thing that I wanted to avoid was just snagging drum loops from hither and yon, because I've done that before too. I'm going to probably use loops, but what I wanted to do was give things a little bit more of an organic sense to them by just using hand percussion, maybe the occasional timpani or something, a percussive instrument that I hear but I don't have access to. So, just kind of want to keep things a little bit simpler and less, ponderous and overly orchestrated and all that kind of thing. So, going into the kitchen, one of the first things that I heard listening to the song was I heard shakers, and I do not have shakers. But I do have I have a bag of crystallized ginger tea. And I was preparing a cup of it, and I just started shaking it. I'm like, oh my God, listen to that. I've got shakers. And later on that day, I picked up my bottle full of pills, the pills that keep me from doing terrible things to people. And actually, they're just vitamins. I picked these up and shook them. And I was kind of like, ooh, wow. So what you're going to hear, one of the things that you're going to hear on the percussion track that I'm about to play you is just that. Did it several times, cut a part that was just perfectly in sync and looped it. Did a few permutations on it that present themselves through the song. Another thing that I heard in my head was kind of, I don't know what the thing's called, it's not a wood block or sticks or anything, but it's kind of a thing that sounds an awful lot like that, which is just simply a drinking glass. So there I have it. Costs nothing. One of the things you're going to hear in this is you're going to hear what sounds like a synthesizer playing basically two notes. And what that actually is, I had heard in this song, I had heard like some gong or chime-like sounds, and I just kind of did what I usually do, which is look for pan lids. And so there's that pan lid, and then there's this pan lid right here. And what's kind of funny is that by some strange twist of fate, these pan lids are perfectly in key with the song without any pitch modification whatsoever. So what I ended up doing was I kind of, I recorded these, sampled them, and I took out, for most of the hits that you'll hear on these, I took out the initial attack and just kind of let the resonating tones come in. So it actually sounds like a synthesizer, of which there is none of that in this particular song thus far. Now, another thing that I was kind of hearing was a sort of a one of those Irish hand drums. I think it's called a bodhran or bodhran, something like that. And I don't have one, of course. So I was kind of hearing, basically a Tupperware container. And I did record a track of such, but it sucked, so I didn't use it. But another weird little happy accident that happened was I was playing around with it, and I just happened to stick it on this gas oven, and it's got the gas oven grill things which sit loosely upon the gas oven, and I just happened to go, it's like, wow, that sounds like a snare drum. So what you hear, that sounds an awful lot like a snare drum is not a snare drum. It is a Tupperware container sitting on a gas range. Now you'll also hear something that sounds kind of like a odd metallic-y kick drum in there. And it's basically this thing. This is a thing that I use for recycling. Big old metal container. And what I did with that was I used a effect called North Pole to add a low frequency to it, which when the percussive track is isolated, you can kind of tell. When it's mixed in with everything else, it kind of disappears. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the percussion-only track of the last verse, the third verse, into the third chorus right before it goes into that bridge. And what I had done during this process was just as an aside, when you listen to the verse, there's kind of this counterintuitive thing where the snare drum actually is sort of inverted with what you would expect out of the kick and snare. So actually, it kind of does funny things to the rhythm, and it worked out, I think, pretty well once I added bass and a couple guitar tracks on top of it. So let's take a listen to that, and we will be back. Maybe I'll put like a footage of a flower or something during this. So here we go.
I am Megabug. I will insert my eggs in all of you. All of you.
Hi. Good to see you back. Yeah. So that's a percussion track, and now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the very same percussion track with the rest of the instrumentation on it, including the original acoustic guitar, sans lead vocals. So we're just going to hear that very same snippet. So here we go. Mississippi Queen. Right, so we are back in my kitchen, and yeah, so that's basically what's going on with that so far. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to play the song so far. It's in its entirety, and I'll probably just use the original bit from part 1 where I'm sitting in the van and playing it. So part 3 is going to be yet another step of the experiment. I'm going to replace the initial acoustic guitars and vocals and probably add some vocal harmonies on it too. So that should be kind of interesting. Not much to say about the instrumental work on this. The bass part just kind of hooked in really nice with that counterintuitive verse structure. There's a note that I used in there which I wasn't sure about, but the more that I listened to it, the more it made sense to me. And it kind of opens it up a little bit. There's kind of a little walking bass line-ish sort of thing in the second half of the chorus, which again, initially I thought, is that a little bit too busy? But once I got used to it, it really hung with me well. And then I ended up doubling that with the distorted guitar that you're going to hear. So let's have at it.
I woke up this morning to the sound of my heart beating at a regular time. I woke to the laugh of mortality, whose pale whispered words did remind. I thought about all the time that I've lost ignoring the sage words inside of intuition and the sound of my heart on the one-way train. Alright, one-way train, one-way train, one-way train, take me far away, far away, far away from here. When I thought about all the people I know and just how many are real, now many are ghosts in search of a host, not knowing how to think until feel. When we act like we believe in all the lies that we spout whilst all but our shells is gone. Those lies last a short while till we lose those false smiles on the